Hi YouTube, it's darthsteve333 here with hopefully a bit of a quicker pickups video. Apologies for the delay between the last video and this one, although looking at my number of views, probably after about another 4 more videos I won't have to worry about it anymore because views seem to be halving each time. Anyway, probably the interesting background behind me. Apologies for being out of breath. I'm trying to get this recorded before my wife gets in from work, so it will be a little rushed, so apologies. Okay, so first things first, car boot, what would it be, sort of just over 2-3 weeks back. Went to 2, one on a Saturday, one on a Sunday. Very notable because I came back with absolutely nothing whatsoever from either one. I'm a believer in sort of if there's nothing there, don't waste your money on buying stuff that may be sort of below par or not really what you want. So I don't always stick to this, but there you go. Anyway, I'm going to struggle to remember what I've picked up when, so probably best if I go to a week later. Went to a local town, not my local town, but a nearby one. Found a few things in the various charity shops there. So in no particular order, found a charity shop where they were selling, I think there was about 8 different Game Boy games. The only 2 that really took my interest were Tonic Trouble and Rayman. They were 99p each. Also, as you can probably see from the label, I found a copy of NBA Live 96 for the PlayStation for 50p. Sort of bought that because I've not really got any great interest in NBA Live 96. It's a reasonable case, and it's one I hadn't seen for quite some time, a number of years really. I think I've completed my Formula 1 for the PlayStation collection, or getting close to it. Got this for 99p, and Formula 1 99. No instructions, but the disc in good condition. Another one, I think this was again from the same shop, Actual Golf 3. Again, that might end up being a case transplant. Obviously it's one I've not already got. I seem to remember the Actua games being quite good, at least at the start anyway. It was, I think, Gremlin Graphics started, yes, gremlin.com. Gremlin Graphics started those off. A couple of minor captures, again, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I think that was £1, yeah, there we go, £1. NHL Face Off 98, again £1. So, can't remember seeing this one before. It looks quite decent if you look at the screenshots. So yeah, little bits of odds and sods really. What did I find next? Couple of things, so it's not going in any particular order, as I say. I think I'll probably go to the next car boot that I visited. Oh no, I tell a lie. I had a fair amount of trade stuff, which I took up my local game shop, which you probably guessed from my accent, I'm from the Midlands. The game shop I visit is in Birmingham. Really nice chap in there by the name of Rob. He does take in my games. He's a decent fella. It's Retro World, I believe it's called, or Entertainment World. He's got 2 Facebook pages. Give it a visit. It's a nice little shop, and as I say, I'm sure Rob will be pleased to see. And his games are pretty reasonably priced, by and large. So anyway, I took me stuff in. Offered me a good amount for them, so I picked up 3 PlayStation 1 games, 3 Dreamcast games. So firstly for the PlayStation, sadly without instructions, but it's a game I used to have a slightly hooky copy of, the X-Files. So pleased to pick that up again. I'll have to pick up the instructions at some point. Another one, relatively early title, this one, in very good nick, Zero Divide, which is an ocean game, fighting game of robots. And now this is an early one, number 2, Battle Arena Toshinden. which I think I owned at the time. I remember playing it on a demo disc and then going out and capturing it, and then sort of Tekken caught my interest. But it's nice to pick that up again, so good stuff. Then I picked up some Dreamcast games, which I mentioned as well, so probably in reverse order. Got Mortal Kombat Gold, which I was pleased to get, despite obviously playing that back in the day and getting extremely annoyed at, I think it was Kintaro, is it? Boss of the third one. Virtually impossible for me to beat anyway, but looking forward to giving that a try again, seeing if my years of experience will have stood me in good stead. Next one, Crazy Taxi 2. Big fan of Crazy Taxi, so pleased to pick up the second one again. Again, these discs are lovely, and probably the prize capture of the day, which took a good chunk of my credit, and probably a couple of quid on top as well. Gunbird 2, so very pleased to pick that up. I do have Gunbird Special Edition for the PlayStation 2. Good fun, good shooter. So where to next? Oh yeah, little capture. I can't even remember where I got this. Oddworld Abe's Exodus, which I do have already, but the reason I picked this up was the discs are absolutely immaculate. No manual, but it has got the control card. I believe I've got the manual on my existing copy anyway, so yeah, pleased to upgrade that. Next, let's see. I did go down the recycle centre. Picked up, that's right, picked up these. Very pleased to find these actually. In fact, before I do that, I'm going to go back to my visit to the local town, and sorry about this, I should have sorted this a bit better, but there you go. That's right, got these from the local town. As I say, variety of charity shops and such like. To further build up the GameCube collection, I got Tiger Woods PGA Tour 93, Need for Speed Pro Street, which is a Need for Speed that I don't actually have, which is unusual. Cold Winter, again you can probably see the prices on most of these. That was $1.99. Heard good things about this from people, so looking forward to giving that a try. Never played it back in the day. And Doom 3, which I am a big fan of Doom. And what makes this fairly tempting, I think, is, does this have, actually I'm not entirely sure, I think it might be just the collector's edition that's got original Doom 1 and 2 on the disc, but I'll find out. Next, oh yeah, the one, Underworld The Eternal War. My wife loves the Underworld films, so as well as not actually having this already, I thought she might like to have a little play on that. Give it a go. See if it adds any plot strands that she's not aware of. And this, which is actually a Retro Gamer magazine cover disc. I've got most of them already, but this is Last Ninja 1, 2 and 3 on a disc, which I was pleased to pick up. I think that cost me 30p or something. Right, from the computer exchange in town, I picked up 4 GameCube games originally. I had to give 2 of them back because they didn't have manuals, and I'm trying, if I can, especially if I buy them from a bona fide computer shop or computer game shop, trying to get the manuals. So if they haven't got manuals, I'll sort of sling them back in the direction. At the end of the day, people will be picking up from other branches that same title but with a manual, so I don't see why I should pay the same amount as them. Anyway, this is an upgrade on my existing copy, which I've had ever since I got my GameCube. I got it second hand, didn't have a manual. The box was a bit ropey, so I picked that up for, as you can see, £8. Metroid Prime, the original. Manual isn't the best, but it is a manual, so always a bonus. And the other one, Lord of the Rings, The Third Age, which I do have on PlayStation 2, but as I say, I'm trying to build my GameCube collection back up again. Next, these were a couple of captures from a different computer exchange, again sort of bolstering the collection. These are from the town where I work. Not entirely happy with these. SSX Tricky and Worms Blast. Now one of them in particular does look, I didn't check the disc before I left the shop, but it looks like someone's been sort of digging the garden with this. I'm not sure if you can see that, but I think it will clean up. But yeah, quite surprising really, given the amount of what's the word, hassle you get if you take a game in and there's a finger mark on it. Most of the time they say I can't take that, it's scratched. So yeah, not entirely pleased with that. This one's a bit better. Worms Blast, still fairly grubby. Not really what you'd expect, as I say, given the grilling that you usually get if you take games in. But I digress. Moving on. What shall I do next? Couple of recycle centre. Sorry, a recycle centre game. Spyro 2, Gateway to Glimmer. Got that, but I think the manual's an upgrade on my existing one, so that will be up for trade. The rest of it, disc is not in the best shape, but it can be cleaned up, I'm sure. This one I found at a charity shop, Cubert, which when I picked it up I sort of happily said to my wife, do you remember him? Remember the character from Wreck-It Ralph? She looked at me like I'd grown a second head, but yeah, I remember when I watched Wreck-It Ralph for the first time I was extremely pleased to see Cubert, so yeah, got that. Right, Recycle Centre. These were the only things I picked up on this particular visit. Some Commodore 64 games, so again in sort of probably reverse order. One called Cosmic Split, never played it. Frogger 64, again played Frogger, but I've not played that version. Then probably the two prize pickups from the collection there. Only a small one, there's only 4 games I managed to find, but I got Grid Runner, which is one of Jeff Minter's first games, I believe. Pleased to get that. And I remember looking at this back in W.H. Smith's, back in the times when they used to sell computer games, and sort of poring over the box. And I felt it tied in pretty nicely with the recent Alien Isolation, which has come out. So I actually picked up Alien, the computer game, for the Commodore 64. Lovely condition. As you can see, it's got like an overview of the movie on the back, little list of the characters. Inside, free 16-page booklet which sets the scene of the story with actual pictures and dialogue from the film. And there you go, obviously the tapes in there. Picture of Jones on the back. Jones the bee and the cat, of course. And there we go, you can see a little overview of the film. This looks like it's not been touched in sort of probably 20-30 years, but yeah, very, very nice. So very pleased to add that to the collection. Put that back safe. So right, plowing through quite nicely. Next, I'm going to go back to the car boot that I actually visited yesterday. Picked up a little selection of odds and sods really. Probably most pleased to find this, which I'd not actually seen before. Light gun for the PS1 by Konami. Can't remember ever seeing one of these before. It turns out it's called the Hyper Blaster. I found after a bit of research, and I'm very pleased to get this because I have a copy of, well, I actually have Die Hard Trilogy 1 and 2, and back in the day, in Game Collection version 1.0, you used to have a Scorpion light gun, which of course you could use with that game. And on researching this, I found that you can actually use this particular gun with Die Hard Trilogy, when of course you can't use the Gun Con, which is the gun I've got for my various light gun games these days. So yeah, I can now play Die Hard Trilogy Part 2 with that. So as well as that, I also found, unboxed, a copy of Crash 2, which is Cortex Strikes Back. Now, those of you with good memories will remember that a couple of weeks ago I did actually pick up half a box for Crash 2. So I'm actually working my way towards getting a complete copy. So I've now got the back and the inlay and the disc. So I need obviously the front sleeve and a manual. So I'm going to keep my eyes open for them. You never know, I might find them at the next couple of car boots. Other pickups were again unboxed from the same guy that had the Crash Bandicoot. There was Gauntlet Legends, just disc only, and then what else? I'm sure there was something else, but I've obviously not pulled that out. So with it was a copy of Worms Platinum in a bit of a beat up case, and I got the 3 of those. It must have been from the same guy, so that must be everything. So Gauntlet, Worms, Crash Bandicoot, 30p each, so 90p for the lot. 3 PS1 games for less than £1. Bit of a bonus. This one, you'll be surprised to see, is another copy of Worms, but this is the double disc version, which I actually already have. But the case is lovely, so that will be a case upgrade or something. Odds and sods, Guitar Hero for the PC, which I've picked up basically because I've heard you can download people's own creations of songs that you might want to play. So I'm a big fan of Faith No More, so there was only 3 that you could download, I think, through the official Guitar Hero. So I'm hoping by hooking that up I might be able to play my old plastic guitar to some Faith No More. Sad. Another odds and sods thing, F1 Championship Edition, which was actually disc and manual, which was useful because I'd actually got the game and the case and the inlay, but not the manual years ago, back when I first got my PS3. So I finally picked up a manual for that, so that's complete, so this is now spare. Again, those of you with a good memory will remember that a few weeks ago there was a guy at the local car boot who had a copy of Star Wars Battlefront 2 for the Xbox One, or Xbox original, shall we say. He wanted £3 for it. It was fairly scratched, the case was in beat up condition, and essentially I wouldn't pay it. Anyway, I go back and guess who was back? It was the same seller. Hadn't sold a single game by the looks of it. Did notice whilst looking on an adjacent stall that someone was inquiring about the price of the games, and he didn't actually buy one, but he was told by the young lad that was on the stall, £1 each. So I went over, lo and behold, this was still there. I've actually given it a case transplant. I've put it in a nicer case. Manual's a bit creased and so forth, and the disc, as you can see, isn't the best, but it's not too bad. So I'll pick that up for £1. As I say, case transplant and so forth. Job done. This was the donor for the case, Tomb Raider Legend, which I picked up for £1. So as I say, transplanted the case on that. Right, last couple of bits. I did pick up something else from Computer Exchange, but I'm going to, in fact I might as well show you that now. This was expensive. I actually paid money for this, but you don't see this every day, and I am a fan of the series. So Metal Gear Solid, the Twin Snakes. I know obviously if I am going to go for the GameCube Complete Collection I'm going to need this. You don't see it very often, and when you do it's very expensive. So I thought, oh, I'll bite the bullet, I've just been paid. There you go, Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes. So very pleased to get that. They did actually also have a copy of Twilight Princess for the GameCube, but that was even more expensive, and I thought, I've got to draw the line somewhere. I'll have to try and put together a little trade collection, take it in and hope it's still there. So we'll probably do that in the next couple of days. Right, picked up this little bundle from the local cash generators, or cash converters, or crack converters, or however you want to put it. Yeah, I think all of this lot was from there. Tell a lie, this one I picked up at last Saturday's car boot. It was £1, Road Rage 3. Excuse me. Right, the rest of them were from crack converters. So these were all 99p, I believe. So Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2, which I do have, so I'm going to look to move that on. Resident Evil Code Veronica X, again, got that, but it's in nice nick, and I'll probably move that on as well. Haven't got this one for the original Xbox, Dungeons and Dragons Heroes, so pick that up. Haven't seen that one before. And something which I think I used to have, and have lent it to a mate for the Xbox. It's the Old Republic. So I figured I'll pick that up again. If my mate has still got the copy I'm thinking of, then I'll have that back off him and I can move one of them on. If not, then I've got a copy. Right, back again. Apologies for that. Wife came in. She's now in the other room with the telly on, hopefully to drown out my monotone drone. So where did I get to? I picked up Knights of the Old Republic. So as I say, that is a copy for me. If my mate hasn't got my copy that I was thinking I might have lent him, who knows. Anyway, right, we're getting towards the end now. These I picked up from the crack generators as well. Now I've got, let's see, I've got two of these. One of them is a platinum version, one of them is just a version which I don't think is in as good condition. So again, these by and large cost 99p each. One cost £2.99, which again was a good price to pay really. So the one I've already got is Minority Report for the GameCube, which I'm very pleased to get. These are all in absolutely mint condition. Discs are unmarked, the manuals are perfect. So yeah, I'm going to trade up my one for that, so my existing copy will go up for trade. Right, this is the one that I've actually already got, but on platinum, so very nice to sort that out with a nice black label. Black label? Yeah, I suppose you could call it black label copy of The Incredibles. Next, Die Hard Vendetta, which I do have on PlayStation 2, I should say. Spider-Man. Again, all of these are perfect condition. And finally, this is the one that cost £2.99, Star Wars Bounty Hunter. And just to give you an example of how good these are, there we go. Look at that, fantastic. Not a single mark on the manual, which I'll leave in there. The discs are all like that, absolutely perfect, which is fantastic. Very rare to find as well, especially for GameCube, oddly. Right, so we are now, I think, whittling our way down to the last few things, which I'll have to just reach across and find and do a little bit of arrangement. Oh, a couple of incidental purchases. Album Peeping Tom, which is sort of a Mike Patton side project, I suppose. Mike Patton being the lead singer of Faith No More, but also does various other side projects. Quite a hard album to find, that. My own copy, if you like, I got off eBay in the end, and it wasn't cheap. So to find that for £1 in a charity shop, I was very pleased with. A couple of movie purchases from the car boot yesterday. This is for my wife, Kirst, the unrated version, because I think it's 15 in the UK, but that's a region 1 and it's unrated. This is an excellent film. This is called Brainstorm. It's got Christopher Walken in it. I won't go into it in too much detail because it's a film and this is a games pickup, but brilliant film. If you get a chance, watch it. Again, that's region 1. And Maniac Cop, which some of you may have seen, some of you may not have. It's got Bruce Campbell in it. It's a good film. Right, last incidental pickup, which I picked up in a sort of style of horse bolting then coming back again. Hard drive transfer cable for the Xbox 360. The reason I bought this was because a couple of years or so back now, I upgraded my existing Xbox from an old model, if you like, to a slim model. Chose the USB file transfer method and proceeded to lose every single save game I'd got, including things like Fallout, Oblivion, everything with a long save game, Mass Effect. So I lost all of them. So I've got the proper tools for the job should I need to transfer any data in the future. So all good. One thing I did forget. Again, this was from the car boot yesterday. £7. Netted me a colour with Dave Mirror BMX Freestyle. Oops. Small soldiers. Playing charge, not sure. Can't quite think. It's got the battery pack. And also Harry Potter and the movie franchise of ever extending length. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. As well as that, obviously it comes in a nice case, which is always nice. But it has been well looked after. Obviously everything works. It's got the charging lead for the battery pack, which obviously works because there's a charge in it. So the chap tested it for me while I was there. And in this we've got the battery cover, battery compartment cover even, and we've got one of those magnifying lights as well. So thought for that price it was a bargain. So I'll just put these games away. There we go. Right, so returning to the car boot from a couple of weeks ago, I actually picked something up for someone else. It was in one of those buckets that various sellers have, where obviously they're generally left out in the elements, bits get lost, and generally it usually ends up in the bin, I would expect. So this, Star Trek, what's it called? Star Trek The Adventure Game by West End Games. Now I don't really play board games, but I do watch Rich King Retro's pick-up videos, and I know he likes his board games. So I've sent him a message, he hasn't responded yet. Thought he might be interested in this. It looks like it's got all the pieces kept in nice little plastic bags. Dice, more pieces. It's got a large fold-out board. Very big instruction paragraph book. Do not read. There's the instructions. These look like some sort of player game cards. So everything looks like it's in there. It's even got a catalogue in there, various odds and sods. It's got the cards as well that the pieces were originally pressed out from. So everything looks like it's in there. So I thought it'd be a shame to leave it there to be exposed to the elements and generally get wet, sodden, bits lost and so on. So yeah, I picked that up. Hopefully you'll be interested in it. If not, then I'll probably put it on eBay or something. It's about 30 years old, and it seemed a shame, obviously, after being looked after for how many years, for it to go to waste. So there you go, Rich King Retro. If you're interested in that, drop me a line. I'll send that to you. Right, so to the prize pickup. This, which I'm just going to arrange, was interesting. Basically, I'm just going to sort this out. Of course, it's a bit interesting. Might seem a bit haphazard, but right, there we go. I'm struggling to remember which bits came with which. Ah, there we go. Right, so what I affectionately refer to as the crap car boot, where oddly enough I've actually found some of my best finds there, but it is generally a bit rubbish. I was mooching around there 2 weeks, no, just over a week ago now. Found very early, well, early for me, this Super Nintendo. It was in pretty shabby state. I've actually stripped this right down, taken it all to bits, washed all the plastic parts. Obviously you can see, you might be able to see it's a bit yellow here and there, but not too bad, all things considered. Took a punt on it. Asked the guy how much it was. It came with an official pad, which I've also cleaned and is actually living with my existing SNES in the other room, because it works lovely now, because it didn't work originally. I sort of plugged it in and it didn't work, so I stripped it right down, cleaned everything, put it all back together, lo and behold it works. So all good. But it also came with, and these haven't been cleaned yet, Competition Pro joypad and I don't know, Super Competition Pro. This is the one with all the slow motion switches and so forth. So it came with those and a selection of games, which I'll go through in no particular order. I'll try to. FIFA 96, Pit Fighter, Street Racer, Mortal Kombat 3, Super Mario All-Stars and Super Mario World, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Bomberman and Castle Wolfenstein 3D. Asked the chap how much, and he said, oh, you know, it's an old system, that blah blah, etc etc, 12 quid. I tried to normally bump him down to 10 if there hadn't been someone on the periphery of my vision sort of loitering and sort of, oh yeah. As I said, I'd normally have bumped him down to a tenner or tried it, but yeah, I thought if I showed any hesitation, this person over my shoulder would have gone, oh, love it. So yeah, picked that up. Anyway, went around the rest of the car boot, picked up a couple of other things, was generally very, very pleased with things. And as people like Tutor UK say, always do a couple of circuits if you can, because you never know what you might see that might not have been put out earlier. Anyway, going past the same guy again, looked over, saw a little stack. And the little stack was this. Mortal Kombat, Super Mario All-Stars and Super Mario World again, Street Fighter 2 Turbo again, and a Super Game Boy. I says, oh, you found some more then? And I sort of said, I don't suppose you let me have them since I bought the Super Nintendo earlier. And he said, oh no, you know, can let you have them for £5. So I was like, yeah, fair enough. So I got SNES, 3 controllers, oh yeah, power supply as well, which and the aerial cable. The aerial cable obviously works. Power supply I'm not entirely sure about. It looked like the fuse in there was shot, so I need to swap that out and see if it works. If not, no great shakes, because I've tested it with my power supply and everything works nicely. So anyway, Super Nintendo, 3 control pads, aerial cable, possible working power supply. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11 games and a Super Game Boy for effectively 17 quid, so happy days. Anyway, I think it's about time for me to wrap up. I think my wife wants to come in the room and generally make tutting noises at me for keeping her out of the room while I finish this off. I need to put some of this stuff away. Before I go, thanks to those of you who are continuing to watch. Stay tuned. Obviously, you know, these videos aren't going to be sort of regular in any way. As I say, it all depends on what I manage to find. If Rich King Retro, if you want that game, give me a shout. One thing I will mention very briefly is you might have noticed I'm wearing this orange wristband thing. I've been wearing it ever since Eurogamer, and basically it's just something that I don't know, signifies my support of a nice charity to support called Special Effect. It's got on there the Gamers Charity, and basically what it does is it just enables people with disabilities to play games. Basically just visit their website, www.specialeffect.org.uk. You'll see some videos. Basically it's quite heartwarming. You see these people, a lot of them kids, but adults as well, with fairly severe disabilities, able to actually join in and have fun through the medium of games. A very, very worthwhile cause. And there's a group of guys at Midlife Gamer who regularly raise money for them. I visit their website quite regular, and I'm part of the community and sort of loitering on the forum sort of basis. And obviously I meet up with them at Eurogamer and generally have a few beers with them, and it's all good. But yeah, if you know, if you're looking for a few quid to give to a charity, worthwhile cause, visit these guys. As I say, watch the videos. It does give you a bit of a lump in the throat and a tear in the eye. Anyway, that's enough for that. As I say, have a look. You'll think they're they do a good job. I think that's everything now. I'm going to finish off, let my wife enter the room. As I say, thanks again for watching, thanks for subscribing, those of you who are still subscribed, and hopefully see you soon. Cheers.